Hello and welcome to this week's IG Live. Today we are going to be talking to author Deedee Cummings, and we love it when we get to talk with her. We try to make sure we get in one of those on a regular basis, and so we're going to catch up with her today. We're going to find out what's going on with Makeaway Media. Hello, and with Deedee. Let me just adjust myself here. Hello, welcome everybody. Usually at 1 o'clock Eastern. Of course, watch for those announcements in case we have to adjust their schedule for to accommodate a guest schedule. But usually we're on here at 1 p.m. Eastern. We try to keep it nice and short. Hello.
Hey,
It's so nice to see you.
it's nice to see you too. I hate to call from my car, but this is kind of my life right now.
Yeah, I love it.
Things
No, that's fine. That's
really, really, really hectic lately.
fine. So how are you doing?
I'm doing okay. We had a loss in our family, and it's been a month of highs and lows. Uh, my husband's father passed away, which was a lot. As far as just, of course, it was a lot emotionally, but it was a lot also involving just handling stuff with the family.
All right, just
Um,
logistically, yeah.
yes, but then, my daughter Kayla opened a new Broadway show, and I got to go to the opening. So it was like a month of highs and lows. And, my schedule is so tight that like any little thing can throw me
Right.
off. And I had a month with several really big things. And, I can't complain. But the reason why we're having this talk today is because, I come on every month, but we were talking about what we were going to talk about. And I said, let's just catch up because I want people to know that I'm still here. I'm still working on making all of these dreams for Makeaway come true. But it's been a tough month. And so we just have to persevere. We have to push through. And I'm staying focused on what I'm working on, which is getting out a couple new books this year and growing the message of Makeaway so that people don't lose hope and don't give up on their dreams. So I just want people to know, even when bad stuff happens, you can slow down and take care of yourself and put yourself first. And the dream will be there when you're ready to come back to it.
One of the things that I love is I think you do such a good job of teaching by
Oh,
example. Because I mean, there's never an ideal time,
right,
right? That you always just have to keep going. Sometimes you have to pause things for a little bit and take care of what
right.
you said, but you don't. That doesn't mean that everything stops and you pack it away. You just kind of put it on hold for a little bit because that's life. That's what happens
Yes.
to everybody. Yeah.
Yes. And I agree. I've talked to a couple people over this last month who are consulting clients of mine, and both of them have started huge new projects, and both of them want to quit, like legitimately are thinking about quitting.
Mm-hmm.
And, I try to balance, walk a tightrope between listening to them and how much they can take, but also, encouraging them and supporting them and letting them know, like, if they do quit, they may never forgive themselves. Um, so I do encourage people to take time to pour into themselves, but also to, try not to give up on your dream.
Right.
Just try to see if you can pace it differently. And I really appreciate you saying that I lead by example,
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of times people are amazed by the stuff that I do. Truly, I hope that doesn't sound arrogant because I don't mean to be, but
It's true. It is. Yeah. You have so many different things going
well,
on.
a lot of times people are like, wow, like, how do you do these things? And I do have a tendency to like pull back sometimes and just go into a cocoon and take care of myself. And then I emerge
Mm-hmm.
ready to take on these projects that I have dreams, but I never give up. I never stop.
I have a question for you. That just raised, I was thinking about your clients and yourself. So, you know how sometimes you feel like when the door closes, a window
Yeah.
opens. So how do you tell the difference between like, okay, I just need to take a break, or okay, I need to to go a different path. Like maybe I need to try something new. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like sometimes I have trouble figuring out like whether I just need to take some time off or whether the universe is trying to tell me I need to go a different direction. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I know exactly what you mean because this happens to me and it happens to the clients I work with
Right.
all the time. And, sometimes people do have dreams that, they're not easy to attain, but that doesn't mean that they can't happen.
Mm.
But you have to slow down. You can't just stay in high gear all the time. You have
Right.
to slow down. You have to evaluate your dream and what you're working on. How practical is it? Are you seeing any movement at all?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you are seeing movement, then all that incremental movement adds up. And, nobody promised that the dream would happen next week.
Right.
10 years from now, you'll be where you want to be. But one of the things that I do that I'm most proud of is every morning I try to wake up earlier than I need to. I make my little cup of coffee, which is kind of like a dessert for me in a way. I make my cup of coffee. I sit somewhere. I try to sit in the sun because the sun is, for me, is very reaffirming
Mm.
of like all of the gifts that we get from the world, because this warmth comes and it touches your skin, and it's a gift. It's a gift to you. So I try to sit in the sun. I the time I'm the most creative is in the spring and summer because I like to sit outdoors. I like to listen to the birds. I pay attention to the trees. I listen to all of that. And when you're quiet and you don't have your phone in your hand,
Mm-hmm.
when you're just quiet and you just think about life, and you don't have to, think very hard about your goals. This is not a difficult thing. You just, you know, sit with yourself, just be with yourself. And
Mm-hmm.
all of these answers will float to the top of your mind. It's true. It sounds hokey, like that can't really be the answer, but it's true. We can't be busy all the time.
Mm-hmm.
We can't stay running all the time. You've got to find a way to take time for yourself. For me, it's the morning. For other people, it might be before they go to bed at night. You've got to take time for yourself to check in and listen to what's going on in your body, in your heart, and in your mind. And the answers will truly float to the top of your mind. I just posted last week an image, that's my daughter Kayla, who's the inspiration for the Kayla series, where one of the K Club members asked her, and I actually think you might have been on this K Club, when one of the kids in the K Club said, how do you know what your dream is? And Kayla said, you won't have to worry. Your dream will find you. And I truly believe that.
Mm-hmm.
This is not something we have to worry about. The dream will come to you and it'll be clear. But if you're always busy, if you're always in conflict, if you're always fighting, if you're always running, if you're always working for someone else and not taking that time to listen to yourself, it's harder to hear the dream.
I love that because we're always encouraging people to just start, just go ahead, do
Mm-hmm.
something, take action every day.
Yes.
But you're also reminding us we still have to have the time for
Yes.
reflection. Like you go do something and then you reflect, okay, how does that feel? How did it go?
Yes.
And like you said, when I have taken time to do that, a lot of times it feels like I already knew the answer. I just had to be still and to
Yes.
realize it. Like you said,
Yes.
I love how you put it. Like the answer just floats to the surface.
It does. It's like a download in a way.
Mm.
It's like a download
Right,
from the universe or from
right.
God. It depends on your spirituality, but
Mhm.
it's like you have to take that time to plug into yourself and plug into nature, and the dream will download to you. And if you already have the dream, if the dream has been downloaded, then your next step will download. But
Right,
the more steps you take towards your dream, the more clear the next step will become.
right,
A lot of times we spend a lot of time, thinking about our dream and not taking any action. We say one day will be the right time, or one day we'll get to this, or one day whenever I have this situation sorted out, then I'll take the next step. And it can't work that way. If you've been given the dream, that is a gift.
mm,
If you've been given the dream, you need to take action on the gift. It doesn't have to be huge. You don't have to quit your job and start the dream. You just have to go to the library and check out a book on the subject and read about it. Go to a meeting on a Thursday night and meet people who have the same interests.
right.
Just small actions like that. Let's see, I don't have my Oh, Chase. Hey, Chase. That's my baby right there. Chase is like an adopted son.
Oh,
I'm so glad to see you on here. Um, but yes, and thank you for your comment, Chase. I appreciate that, because I know Chase has big dreams too, and you just take the action. I love being surrounded by people who have dreams. That's another thing you can do. Be surrounded by people who have dreams, and you'll get clarity on yours as well.
yeah, and yeah, you get that clarity and that inspiration to uh, like you said, sometimes you have this dream, but you don't think it can really happen. But when
Yeah.
you're surrounded by other people who believe and who are making it
Hmm.
happen, then it just seems like more of a reality. But
Right.
for those that just joined in, we're talking about following your dreams, but also when to know when you need to take a break and when to know when you need to go in a different direction. It doesn't mean giving up on your dream, but maybe you kind of realize, oh, well, maybe I need to do it differently than I had thought out. I was thinking about how you were talking about how a lot of times you just think about your dream and you think one day. Sometimes you take action and you find out you get more information and you're
Yeah.
like, oh, that's actually not what I thought about. Maybe I need to do like you can kind of change your ideas about things
Hmm.
when you actually start to take action, or you find out it's not that hard,
Hmm.
or you find out that, oh, here's a really good resource. But if you have to have those two elements of action and reflection. And we're kind of thinking a little bit more about the reflection part of it today and
Yeah.
making sure you're also taking time for yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I apologize for the people who just joined. I know it's a little distracting to have the cars in the background, but every week I volunteer down at the Louisville Urban League. So
Nice.
that's where I'm at. I'm at the Louisville Urban League in Louisville, Kentucky. And I'm an attorney, but I don't do a lot as an attorney. I like much more I feel like attorneys fight a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And as a therapist, I get to mend a lot instead of fighting.
I like that.
So yeah, I practice much more as a therapist and I work as an author much more than I do as an attorney.
Mm-hmm.
But speaking of dreams, at the Louisville Urban League in Louisville, Kentucky, and there are urban leagues all over the country, they have free expungement clinics where
Oh, that's great.
people can have their they can apply to have their criminal record expunged. Certain crimes can be expunged, not violent crimes. And I heard about the expungement clinic at the Louisville Urban League, and I decided to come down. And so every week, a couple hours a week, I come down to the Urban League and I help in any way that I can. I help people get their criminal records expunged. And it's not, a lot of times people hear about the work we do here and they think that it's like expunging records of violent people and putting violent people back on the street, and then you don't know that they have this violent history, and that's not the case. It's really surprising how one bad incident being in one bad place, or maybe one incident of poor judgment, and who can't relate to an
Right.
18-year-old making a split-second decision that affects them for the rest of their life.
Right.
We're talking about people who can't even get housing,
Mm.
let alone get financial aid in school or get a job to better themselves. And so um, that is one way that I help other people make their dreams come true, is by participating in this expungement clinic every week.
That is amazing. I mean, what a difference to make in somebody's life, especially like you said, the things that people did. We all made really stupid mistakes when we were young, and to have it affect your life for the rest of
Mm-hmm.
your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was supposed to leave before now and get to the office so I could do my live the way I usually do, but I had to stay a little bit longer because they needed a little bit more help today, and that was fine with me because I really enjoy doing the work. But that's why it's so busy, sirens in the background, because I'm downtown. But speaking of making stupid mistakes when you're younger, I always am surprised when people sit in judgment of people that have made some mistake, because we all have something, that we did that we wish we would have done differently. And I always say thank God there was no social media when I was a teenager.
Yes, that's so true. That's so true. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's why I'm down here in the parking lot, because I spent my morning this morning working in the expungement clinic, which is is wonderful.
That's
A
amazing.
lot of people, because of the work that the Urban League does to help people clear these crimes off of their record, a lot of people are able to follow a dream that
Hmm.
otherwise would have been blocked.
Right. And I think a lot of people may not even know something like that exists. I
Hmm.
mean, for people who do have something
Yeah,
on the record, maybe they don't even know that they can get it expunged. I remember we talked about that one
yeah,
time.
yeah. They're, and these are normal people. These, like I said, these are not violent criminals. I met, uh, how I really became interested in it was I met a young man at a restaurant
Mm.
who was talking to me about how he's been stuck in this waiter job, which I'm not talking about people who are servers, because Lord knows we need servers, and
Right.
I love that there are people who are willing to do that work, especially after the pandemic. We know how servers came out and you know didn't want to go back to those environments because some people don't value wait staff. But I met a man who was a server at a restaurant, and he just started telling me his story, which kind of happens to me a lot because I'm a therapist. So,
You
like
just have
even
that vibe about you
even
that.
in the grocery store checkout line, somebody will start telling me their story. But I met this man at a restaurant who told me about how he was in college at 18 years old, and he was just standing with someone who said, walk over here with me. And the person was just going to drop off this bag, and he had nothing to do with it. I believe him because of the way he told the story. And they both got arrested, and he had this uh, charge on his record from the time he was 18 years old to now he's in his 30s. And he felt like there was nothing that he could ever do about it. And I told him about the Urban League.
Mm.
So it's powerful, powerful work. So I
Yeah.
wanted to just come on today and just update people on, what I've been doing, because I haven't been as visible with Makeaway Media as I usually am. Um, Things have really been crazy because I'm trying to get a couple books out this year. Of course, we have the Louisville Book Festival. So yeah, I have a lot going on.
There is, but it's all
Yeah.
exciting. And then we've got the 10-year anniversary
Yes.
this year. We're planning big celebrations for that.
Yeah.
So a lot to watch out for anybody who watching that,
Yeah.
we've got a lot coming. Although I should say that we are going to miss several IG lives next month and kind of the second half of June and beginning of July, because I'll be gone and I can't remember that. I don't remember if that affects our IG live together next month. I'll check the schedule.
Okay.
But but if you ever see us taking a break, we'll be back. So you
Yes.
can always count
Yeah.
on that. Well,
I
thank
want to
you
thank
for taking the time to
I want
talk
to
with us today.
I want to thank everybody who joined, and I appreciate everybody who supports the work we do at Makeaway. Makeaway was a dream for me, and it's not exactly where I want it to be. I work every day to try to grow, to get our message out, because I believe in what we talk about, and I believe that the world is better when everyone listens to their heart and strives for their dreams. And so, if you know people you can tell about Makeaway, encourage people to follow us, share our message. We're so appreciative when people do that, because we really do just want people to live their best lives possible and take care of one another.
Yes, and have so many resources and a lot of free things that you can enjoy, like these IG lives. Oh, thank you for sharing your knowledge and love. Oh, thank you for saying.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
beautiful. Thank you so much. That is so beautiful. I'm going to reach out to this person and send them something. Does that say, I don't have my glasses on, does that say My Children's Book
Yep,
Journey?
that's it.
That's so beautiful. Thank you for that comment.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that. I really do. You don't know how much that means to me, because um, maybe I'm sharing a little bit too much, but we don't make a lot of money off Makeaway. It's something that I've poured into for years. And thank you, Eric. I appreciate you in your comment too. But Makeaway is something I've poured into for years because I believe in it.
Right.
So it seems, I hope it doesn't sound disingenuous. I truly mean it when people comment that it means so much to
I
me.
really do.
Thank you, everybody, for being on today, including my son, Chase.
Uh, and thank you. Yes, thank you everybody for joining. And if you joined us late, you can find us up on our Instagram in a few minutes and later on our YouTube channel. And remember, we're here every Thursday. You can check in and little dose of positivity and inspiration for your week. So hope everybody has a great weekend. Thank you for joining us, Deedee. It's always so good to talk
Thank
with
thank you, Leanna. You too.
you. Bye.
Bye.